Okay, we're going to look at more about the work of the Holy Spirit. There are other aspects of the work of the Holy Spirit we need to consider, and these are important in our relationship with the Holy Spirit as well. The next thing I want to talk about is that He fills us. Ephesians 5:18 says, "And be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit." We're commanded to be filled continually with the Holy Spirit. The tense in there is continuous. This being filled affects our whole personality, our ministry for Christ, and the focus of our minds. It affects our body also. It's very interesting. It says in Romans 8:11, "But if the Spirit of Him that raised up Jesus from the dead dwell in you," that's the Holy Spirit, "He that raised up Christ from the dead shall also quicken your mortal bodies by His Spirit that dwelleth in you." Luke 11:36 says, "If thy whole body therefore be full of light, having no part dark, the whole shall be full of light, as when the bright shining of a candle doth give thee light." So even our face can shine with the glory of God when we're filled with the Spirit of God. Next thing is that He teaches us to pray. Romans 8:26 and 27 says, "Likewise the Spirit also helpeth our infirmities. For we know not what we should pray for as we ought, but the Spirit itself maketh intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered. And He that searcheth the hearts knows what is the mind of the Spirit, because He maketh intercession for the saints according to the will of God." 1 Corinthians 14:15 says, "What is it then? I will pray with the Spirit, and I'll also pray with the understanding." So there's prayer that's done by the Spirit of God teaching us to pray, and our human spirit praying united with the Holy Spirit. The Spirit of God knows what we should pray and how. We don't. That's why we must let Him help us here. One way is through the special prayer language He gives us when we are baptized in the Holy Spirit. That's speaking in tongues, praying in tongues. Another way is by inspiring our minds with the prayers that get results. Yet another way is through deep groanings of intercession He produces in us. Next, the Holy Spirit tells us that we are children of God. Romans 8:16 says, "The Spirit itself, or Himself, beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God." Ultimately, the only way you or I can know for sure that we're a genuine child of God is by the Holy Spirit making us know this fact with deep certainty within. Next, He produces in us the fruit of the Spirit. Galatians 5:22 and 23. "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such there is no law." As part of our sanctification, the Holy Spirit produces in us these things: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. These characteristics are formed in us by continually yielding to the Spirit of God. Next, He gives special supernatural gifts. "For to one is given by the Spirit the word of wisdom, to another the word of knowledge by the same Spirit, to another faith by the same Spirit, to another the gifts of healing by the same Spirit, to another the working of miracles, to another prophecy, to another discerning of spirits, and to another diverse kinds of tongues, to another the interpretation of tongues. But all these work that one and self-same Spirit, dividing to every man severally as He will." These gifts are given out in meetings as the Spirit decides, or they're given out in evangelism, however the Lord wants to. But we're not passive in the reception and operation of these gifts. To use these gifts requires faith, boldness, and a degree of sensitivity to the Spirit. These gifts are given to help people by the supernatural wisdom and power of God. They are not the product of the rational mind. Rather, they are supernatural operations of the Spirit which occur through those who are open to them. They are useful in evangelism and in every part of Christian ministry. In neglecting them, the church has neglected an important God-ordained means for achieving God's work in the world. Well, I hope that that's been helpful to you, and that you're hungry for God, and that you want to see the work of the Holy Spirit in your own life powerfully in all these ways that have been mentioned. God bless you.